Okay, so we're going to do a wide variety of tests just on this OSC and pitch to MIDI issue. Got all my guitars here, all of them very different, as you'll soon see. One thing they do have in common is that they do have the GK internal pickup, the Roland GK internal pickup on each one of them. Most of them exhibit the same sort of issue that I'm dealing with here, which is false triggers. I've tried the low velocity cuts on the unit. I'm also, this time I'm not going to use any splitters. I'm going to just demo straight into the GR30 along with the OSC, so you can see the differences between the two. I've not done any setups or triggering with this. One thing I do notice about this test patch is two guitars, when the chromatic is set off, which it is on this test patch, which I'll send out. It's just one OSC synth, no effects or anything on it. The pitch wobble issue occurs on just two guitars. It occurs on this guitar. You can hear it just about wobbling a little bit. And again, if we try that major, not so bad there. You can definitely hear it wobbling. Let's go in again. Okay, so that's chromatic. I'll just quickly swap over because this guitar, this Godin, as in per the other videos, does the same thing pitch wobble wise. So just to do the pitch wobble, this one's worse though, as you can hear. Really quite bad. So that pitch wobble is, on my current test, I'll test all guitars at the moment, but it's just between the two guitars and it's really bad on this one. It's not like that on the Fishman triple play, and it's not like that on the GR30. So again, something to do with the SY and the way it sort of interprets the pitch of chords on certain instruments. However, the legato thing that I'd like everybody to try is common to all instruments. So if I take off any right hand muting, you can hear straight away, and sort of pitching as well, but you know, false triggers from me just lifting my fingers off. So if I just gently take my finger, it doesn't do it every time, but 70% of the time it does. I literally am gently lifting my finger off, quite quick, but I'm not trying to do a pull off in the normal way where you pull down. I'm just lifting off. And the weird thing about it is dynamically it's almost the same volume, and sometimes it's louder. See, that's louder than the first played note, or at least as loud. So there's no dynamic differentiation between those notes when you take your finger off. So if you do accidentally, if you in the like that, say for example, in the round of playing something quite fast, there's little bits of notes that stick out, and because there's no dynamic control over those notes, even though actually on the guitar themselves they are very, they're ghost notes, they're compressed to the same level of volume. So it doesn't really matter which guitar I do this on. That's the Godin that you've already seen. Let's just try it over a variety of guitars. So this is a Steinberg system, headless guitar. Can't put anything on the headstock on this one, unfortunately. There we go. Just do it simple, Sean. Come on. Oh dear. You can hear it again. Let's try the chord. It's not so bad. So yeah, it's making a right mess of it. Let's try another Godin. This Godin. Fixed bridge this time, so no trem system. All the other ones I've got trem system on. This is fixed bridge. Ooh, turn it up. Still triggering. also got this set up in Logic, so I've got it pitched to Midi, and I've been having a fiddle around for quite a while now with the velocity, sensitivity, dynamic range, chromatic side of things. I'm just going to go back into that actually and just have a look at that again where I've left it. So it's on chromatic 3 at the moment, dynamic set to 7, playfield 1, and a low velocity cut of 4. So this is now, hopefully, if it's, is it on? Is it on? Is it on? Is it on? Should be on. That's because it's not recorded on. Another thing I've noticed, you probably can't see this off camera, but when I've got the USB hooked up, sometimes when I play something on in Logic, it actually messes with Logic and I have to shut it down, and I don't know what that is. But anyway, see if we can get around this one now. Right, here we go. So we've got some sounds now. Okay, so the chromatic is set on, so you know, it's not bad tracking like that. So I can see why people think it's okay, but again, listen to the mess it's making. Same thing. Even the lightest touch pull off, where the actual note on the guitar is very quiet, is making a ghost note. That applies to all instruments. So something wrong with the dynamic sensitivity on the guitars, in my opinion. Now, this is doing my head in with the Logic, set Logic off again. Quit, cancel. So you can see, even pitch to Midi does this. Now you might say, well, you are sort of pulling off the strings, but I'm pretty clean with my playing. Normally I would play something like, you see, and I'm damping them, but you can still hear there's still a bit of a note there, even though I'm trying to damp with my right hand. I've not been able to clear those off. I would normally play like that, obviously, if I'm trying to dampen, or if I was playing with overdrive, but the volume of the ghost note, as I keep saying, is just as loud as the actual note that I'm playing. Now, just to emphasise this, again, I'll just move to the old GR30. Same technique. Oops, a bit louder this one is. Right, okay, so let's just have a listen. Same thing I'm doing, look. Now, you tell me that there's a ghost note coming out there, because there isn't. It's tracking the legato, and then same technique, look. No ghost notes. I'd have to go actually properly pull off to get the ghost notes, but if I just lift off, nothing. Whereas that, as you heard perfectly normally, was creating all kinds of ghost notes. Now here, I'm not doing any damping. So you can hear, I mean, and it tracks really well. You know, there's no problem with the tracking on it. So on the GR30, so you don't get anywhere near the amount of spurious notes that the SY1000 generates. Now, what I'd like guys on the forum to do is just to try and replicate some of the things that I've done. Just so simple legato lines, no left, no right hand dampening, and see what the resultant effect you get. And also just that, play the note and lift it off gently. Because as I can show you quickly again, shouldn't be doing this, it's just a bit Heath Robinson, I know. Just turn this up. Okay. You can hear it straight away. Vast difference between that and that. Anybody who doesn't see that, I just give up. But it could be me, it could be my unit, could be all of my guitars are doing the same thing, just because maybe it could be to do with the GK internal pickup, I don't know. But that's what I've got in all of my instruments, and obviously spent quite a bit of time putting them in, so I'd hope that Roland Boss would consider that pickup specifically when selling the SY1000. So I mean, I think that's all I really want to say on the matter. If you guys can give sort of a comparative example of this, as I say again, no right hand dampening. Let it ring out a little bit and then play that just by lifting off. What you need to do is obviously play it quite strong, but you can hear straight away. I've demonstrated categorically that the GR30 doesn't do that, and neither does the Fishman triple play.